And a good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully, everyone's doing good on this cold, coolish December day. Let's see who we got in the house with us. Awesome, Sister Rachel. Thank you so much for coming in. So good to see you. Jonathan, Crossover Paranormal. Hopefully, you're improving and healing up while you're at home. So, appreciate you coming in. Good to see you as well. So, as we get a few more people in here, we'll get started. Today's show's a little different. I know we normally cover all these experiences that people's had in the past with cryptids and spirits and all those things. Today's is going to be a whole nother ball game that we've never gotten into before. So, all right, let's thank Miss Betty Feliciano. Thanks so much for coming in. It's so good to see you. Appreciate it. So it's good to see everyone. Been a nice couple of days off from work. Been doing some stuff with my dad. Had a super special honor happen today. You guys all know that we go to that old country store that was the building itself was made in 1882. And then it was turned into a grocery store. Welcome in, Jimmy. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. And it's a place me and my dad goes and gets some of that good old fresh sliced bologna. And went in there, I guess it was Wednesday, and got us a couple of pounds of bologna. And they gave us, the little end piece. It's all around like they gave us that for free. And my dad mentioned to them, I've made, like the sign here that's above my little table here, wall shelf that has our paranormal channel on it. I made a few of those for, I've been making them for years for like birthdays and anniversaries, those kind of things. And my dad had mentioned it to them, and the lady said, we would be interested in getting one. So I came home and made them one. The name of the place is Shorty's, and the way it's set up now was founded in 1961. So I put that together for them and took it to them, and just made their day with it. Absolutely honored that they would even love to have one. So we got that made, and we go in there at least once a month just to get us some good old homemade sliced deli bologna. So now we'll get to see that hanging up on the wall. But it was super fun just to go out there and talk with them and get to meet the owner. And I think he's the second and third generation owner of the place. So nice to see the smile that gave them. But like I said, this week, I know a lot of channels have covered alien type encounters, which I maybe have done one or two, but it's not something that I dive into a whole lot. But this one that we're going to be covering today is very interesting. I first heard about it on none other than Unsolved Mysteries. Watched a whole documentary on it, and it didn't really interest me at the time, I guess. But I was listening to a podcast on. Yes, Jimmy did do a bunch. Man, they were good stories too. They were awesome. But a podcast had brought up this town. I believe so. I believe that's the one. But I had heard about this particular one in a podcast on Spotify. I think it's Appalachian Mysteries and Monsters. And they had covered another story, like nothing to do with this. They had covered a story of the whole town itself. And that interests me because it has some neat stuff. So I want to, something about this town that we're going to be talking about tonight has had some strange things. And then we're going to be getting into some in depth, like the actual event that took place itself. But then before we get into that, we're going to talk about some of the strange things that's happened around the town itself, dating back to the Native American days. So I guess without further ado, let me get me off of this old screen. And we're traveling down south to Pascagoula, Mississippi. It is famous for its singing river legend, where the peaceful Pascagoula tribe, rather than be enslaved by the rival Biloxi tribe, joined hands, walking into the river, singing a death song, a melody sometimes said to still echo today, along with other tales of mermaids, pirates, and well-known documented 1973 alien abduction. The Singing River Native American legend. The core legend says that the Pascagoula tribe, facing war or enslavement by the Biloxi, chose to walk into the Pascagoula River chanting a mournful song, ending their sorrow. On quiet nights, people claim to hear the ethereal humming or singing of the tribe rising from the water, a phenomenon heard by the French settlers in the 1690s. Another variation involves a mermaid who, angered by a Christian missionary, called her followers into the river to drown, linking the sound to her call. Let's see. The area also has folklore about pirates, outlaws, and hidden treasure, adding to the mystique of the coastal region. While folklore explains the singing, the actual sound of the Pascagoula River is really an unexplained phenomenon, often attributed to gas bubbles or sediment moving through the riverbed. Some call it the river's natural hum. All right, now let's get into the more famous incidents. This has become known worldwide as the Pascagoula incident. It was an alleged UFO close encounter reported by a man and his 17-year-old friend. And I'm not saying names uh, just for reasons, because I don't want to be in trouble for anything. So it says they claimed they were taken aboard a UFO and examined before being released by the aliens while fishing near the Pascagoula, Mississippi. The primary claimant would go on to be a UFO celebrity, alleging ongoing contact with the beings and appearing before national TV. The Pascagoula incident took place amid the 1973 USO flat, a spat of UFO reports in the United States South, primarily Louisiana and Mississippi. Around 8 p.m. on October 11th, service station operator called the sheriff to report seeing a strange craft with blinking colored lights pass overhead. Around 11 p.m., a 45-year-old man and a 17-year-old relative arrived at the Jackson County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office to report a strange encounter. According to the older man, the pair had been fishing off of a pier on the west bank of the Pascagoula River when they heard a whirring or whizzing sound and saw two flashing lights and observed an oval-shaped object 30 to 40 feet across, 8 to 10 feet high. The man explained that the younger man fainted and remained unconscious during the examination. The older man claimed three creatures with pincers took them aboard the object and subjected them to an examination before returning them to the wharf. According to the pair, they initially decided not to report the incidents, but instead went to the Mississippi Press office to share their story. On learning no newsmen were present, the pair continued on to the sheriff's office to make their report. The captain later told press that he was initially skeptical and suspected a prank, but soon came to believe the men were sincere. The captain smelled alcohol on the older man's breath, but the older man explained he had only had one drink of whiskey after being released. Ryder told the press that the men were not drunk. Officers left the two men alone in a room, secretly recording the conversations between the two, hoping to catch them in a lie, but their stories would remain constant with their original testimony. On October the 12th, the Mississippi Press of Pascagoula reported the two men who claimed to have been taken on board the UFO by strange creatures the previous night. The two men scheduled a press conference for 11:15 a.m., but it was canceled. That same day, Associated Press and United States Press International Wire Service picked up the story, which was covered in papers nationwide. Welcome in, May. So good to see you. Sorry for not saying hello to you sooner. Thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you. The two men were examined at Kessler Air Force Base and cleared of radiation exposure and released. Locals called for federal officials to investigate. UFOologist and debunker turned promoter traveled to Mississippi and interviewed the two men separately by hypnosis. They told the press accounts that they were likely based on fact. By October the 17th, press documented subsequent UFO reports in the wake of the nation's attention. October 19th, an article under the pair's name appeared in the local newspaper. The piece argued that the creatures were robotic but friendly. An artist's conception of the creature was published in Biloxi on October 20th. The pair agreed to tell their story to the local Rotary Club. It was reported that the pair were set to take a lie detector test. October the 24th, press compared the case to the Betty and Barney Hill case. Local press reported that the two men had not been seen at their workplace, prompting speculation that they were being paid to tell the story. October the 27th, the press confirmed an upcoming polygraph. By October 30th, a Los Angeles radio station was advertising an exclusive interview with the two men. On the 31st, press reported that a local polygraph examiner had conducted Hickson had told the truth as what he believed, cautioning we do not say spaceship landed or the creatures emerged from it. The use of the polygraph as a lie detector test was discredited in the 80s. Though an attorney declined to take a polygraph test unless requested by the man. The attorney said that the sheriff had recently been hospitalized, and the older man of the two had appeared on November the 2nd on an episode of the Dick Cavett Show. See, on November the 8th, local press reported that a fisherman and his 14-year-old son claimed to have been seen an illuminated object underwater in that same river. On November the 29th, the older man appeared at a taping of the Mike Douglas Show. This episode aired in syndication in late December. He also appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. In January, the older man was arrested for public drunkenness after being found wandering along the highway. Also, he traveled to Detroit to address a UFO group. That month, he told press that he was in ongoing contact with those beings. Having had 3 different encounters, Hickson teased that the being would soon provide a message along with proof of their existence, which he would relay to Washington. Later in April, he met with ancient astronaut Propetent, and he gave interviews and lectures and appeared on the televisions. In 1974, he claimed additional encounters with the aliens. In October, he described a UFO celebrity who would be featured in an upcoming NBC documentary. Let's see. The Jackson County Sheriff told the Washington Post in 1975, "We did everything we knew to try to break their stories. If they were lying to me, they should be in Hollywood." In 1983, the man authorized a self-published book, UFO Contact, at Pascagoula. Parker attended UFO conventions and in 1993 started a company called UFO Investigators to produce television stories about the UFO. In 2011, the man died of a heart attack at the age of 80. In 2018, the sheriff released his book entitled The Pascagoula, The Closest Encounter, My Story, which is the first full account of the event given by the sheriff, along with how it affected his life. June 22nd, 2019, a historical marker was unveiled at the site of the alleged abduction founded by the Historical Society with placement approved by the city. The sheriff attended the unveiling, and as did the man's son and his family. The sheriff stated, "It is emotional for me. I can't really describe it because I would break out into tears if I do. I wish when I died I could be buried right here underneath this plaque that would explain it the best. It is quite an honor." The sheriff died from kidney cancer in August of 2023 at the age of 68. In 2024, Netflix Files of the Unexplained covered the incidents. Now, that's the one that I saw there. So, it goes on to say that aviation journalists and UFO skeptics found discrepancies in the man's story, noting that the man refused to take a polygraph exam, conducted by an experienced examiner and concluded that the case was a hoax. Skeptical investigators wrote that the man's behavior was questionable and that later altered and or embellished his claims. Let's see. A man speculated that the man may have fantasized the alien encounter during a hypnotic walking dream state and suggested that the the sheriff corroboration of the tale was likely due to suggestibility because he initially told police that he'd passed out at the beginning of the incident and failed to regain consciousness until it was over. Man, I really would not know what in the world to do if I was fishing on an edge of a pier late at night on the Mississippi River and have this strange object come up with these weird lights and then be taken up into some ship with a strange creature I've never seen before and be examined. My goodness. And a lot of people don't understand that the man who experienced this, the bravery that he had to share it with the entire world, like it takes a lot because so many times when people are sharing their story of ghost encounters or alien encounters, whatever, they're often called liars and told that they just don't know what they're talking about. They're crazy. And that's why so many people won't share their stories. But I'm so glad that they did. It's so neat to be able to hear it. And to be able to find out about it today. So it kind of makes you wonder, what is it about Pascagoula, Mississippi that draws those kind of events? Because to be able to go to that river and you hear the strange hum and almost singing like, and then that alien encounter, it actually happened at a shipyard. There's a famous shipyard there in Pascagoula, and that's where it actually took place. They'd gotten off of work and brought in some fishing poles and were fishing on a pier. So makes you wonder, were they truthful when they told these stories, or were they just made up just for fame and fortune? So I'm going to be the first to say I won't never say that it's fake. Everybody's got a story to tell, and like I said, quite often people won't tell them because they're afraid of what everybody else is going to say to them. So, and an encounter like that is strange. I was actually talking to my dad just the other day about what we'd seen when I was young. When I was a kid, me and my mom, all four of us had come back from church, and there was something over the tree line spinning, looked like a ring of lights just spinning. And he didn't want to scare us, so he told us, "Oh, that's just something from the drag strip." And then I asked him about it the other day. He's like, "Oh, I remember that." And he's like, "Yeah, that wasn't lights from the drag strip. We don't know what that was. We just didn't want to scare y'all because we were kids at the time." So I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. And when you have an encounter like this or with spirits or anything, you'll never forget it. And you'll probably never see something like that again. So very strange, very, very strange. But I appreciate everybody for coming out, and hopefully all you guys have a Merry Christmas this coming next week, actually. Appreciate all of you guys coming out watching. You guys remember Crossover Paranormal? He just got out of the hospital like a day ago or 2 days ago, and he's still got some health issues that he's dealing with from that. So when y'all pray, remember that, and continue to pray for Miss Betty there and Autumn and Hope both. They're all good, but we always could use the prayers, and just as a reminder, guys, if you have stories, prayer requests, whatever, we have Myers Tales of Appalachia gmail.com email for you guys to send anything like that you'd like to share or ask for. We have that. If you want to send Christmas cards or anything of that nature, we got Myers Tales of Appalachia at P.O. Box 312, Scottsboro, Alabama 35968. P.O. Box there for you guys. You can send handwritten stories, prayer requests, it's whatever. It's there for you guys to use and utilize. We appreciate everybody for coming out, and appreciate all the prayers, praying for each other. And let's see, what do we have coming up for videos here? We have a submitted story. One of the headstone stories that Miss Janice sends in. That'll be coming up Saturday, and the next week, I think we're probably going to take off for Christmas. We'll have Christmas having to be dealing with all of that, so we probably won't be going live or doing a video that week. So we will see. Probably take that week off, just like I said, so we've got time to get everything going that we need. My brother's supposed to be coming down, so so that means I'll actually get to see y'all on New Year's. Actually, New Year's Day will be our next. And I cannot believe I'm off. I'm actually off for New Year's. Usually I have to work, so I will. The next time that we'll see y'all, like I said, we'll have our video Saturday. But then the next time I see you guys, it'll be New Year's, and we'll do something. And an update on the channel here. As of right now, we are 1 subscriber away from 2,000. So when we hit that, like I said, I'll be giving away the Myers Tales of Appalachia sign. One of you guys will get to win that. Probably give away maybe that cross that I made or something. We'll figure out something. So, like I said, I really appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming out and your continued prayers. We appreciate your comments on the videos and sharing us out with the friends and all that good stuff that y'all do. So we're grateful to y'all, and I guess until Saturday with that video and then the live stream on New Year's, I'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody.